explore the wisdom of the revered Narada Bhakti Sutras, a cornerstone of Hindu devotion, with His Holiness Swami Jyotirmayananda. Experience 45 enlightening lessons on the essence of Bhakti Yoga. Discover the path to pure love for God and transcend the material world. Embrace the teachings that have guided devotees for centuries. Attain spiritual perfection through devotion. Prepare to understand the depths of divine love. Find your path to spiritual enlightenment. Trust in the sutras. Follow these instructions. Be blessed with devotion. And now, His Holiness Swami Jyotirmayananda.
Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, and bestower of immortality. Blessed self in all adoration. Narad Bhakti Sutras, presently in the Sutra number 39, Sage Narada focuses on spiritual disciplines which should be practiced by all aspirants who are desirous of attaining God realization. The highlights of those practices are developing vairagya, detachment from the worldly values, worship of God, listening to and singing the praises of God, and satsanga. These are the highlights. In 39 Sutra, Mahat Sangastu Durlabho Agamya Amoghascha. In this world, association with the great ones, Agamya, is unreachable. Think of shrines that are in Badri, Kedar, high in the Himalaya. Unapproachable. It's a lot of difficulty. However, it is amog, infallible. Even a little touch works wonders. Firstly, try to have a general understanding. Human mind constantly follows the psychology of the masses. The mass psychology is the Rajasic, Tamasic level. It's not meant to insult anyone. It's well recognized in all businesses, in all practical dealings. That's why in the TVs, whenever there is an advertisement, it never lingers beyond certain limits. Because they know people will not have the attention. Mass attention is very limited. However, the goal of life is to attain enlightenment, liberation, go beyond the mass psychology, and to be more serious in this matter, you need to have association and contact with Mahat, those who are advanced, spiritually advanced, Mahatmas, saints, sages. Now, it's difficult for various reasons. Firstly, people don't know what does the Mahat look like, what the sages look like. People have not figured out. People have different ideas for amusement from mass level. The idea is anyone who is enlightened something must be spraying out of the head. Luminous rays. I should watch his feet. He shouldn't be touching the ground. And even before you go there, he knows you are So better say nothing, he knows. If you adopted that type of ideal concept, there will be no teachings. Disciples have to ask, Guru has to answer. And if they don't understand, they have to ask back. To simplify the matter, there's a cosmic law. When you deserve something, you get it. Think of every little flower. It needs the help of bees. Bees are far away. It sends out a little message with its fragrance. The wind carries it, puts it in the nose of the bees. The bees say, "Is it so?" So they jump, run out, come to the flower. Flower didn't go anywhere, but it did blossom. It did allow itself to waft fragrance. There is a general saying, first deserve, then desire. More specialized saying, deserve, first deserve, second deserve, third deserve. No desire. In the quest for Guru, there are twofold consideration, disciple and Guru. If disciple doesn't have that sensitivity, the Guru, great Gurus may pass by and it's nothing. That happens with all the great incarnations. Krishna was there. So many personalities passed by and he was just a coward. Lord Jesus was there. He was recognized more and more after 50, 100 years. So therefore, try to become a disciple, develop the qualities of being a disciple. And as you begin to develop, a divine plan arranges, just like the divine plan has arranged all relationships. From your previous birth, you didn't know where you were going. You have no identity, no tickets arranged. But we are led precisely where you are most suited, where you will have all the possibility for your evolution. The divine movements never make slightest mistake. Therefore, it is called omniscient and omnipotent. Human intelligence lacks. You may know a great deal, but then you say to yourself, I know this, but I don't have the capacity. I know this is what my child needs, but I don't have the money. With God, there is no such limitation. So just as all relationships come together led by karma, amazing things happen led by karma. Similarly, when you are ready, deeply interested in spirituality, God starts pouring down lessons. Lessons in books, sermons in stones. I have a slight tendency to go too wide. The idea I'm leading you to understand that led by karma, first you come into a family where you are introduced to scriptural teachings, prayers. You watch your parents doing prayer and whatever some religious act goes on entering your mind. And as you become keenly interested, then situations and circumstances present themselves in such a way that you are drawn You may suddenly be passing by and someone invites you into a satsang. Satsang, general meaning of satsang is coming together to listen to spiritual teachings. That's the general understanding. And it is broad. That's wonderful. Just like going to a temple, come to a satsang. But subtler form of satsang, that's that one needs to understand. Satsang literally means sat is truth, the absolute reality, means God. Sang, coming closer. Contacting the truth. Therefore, all good acts, if you read Sanskrit literature, they begin with sat. Sat achar, sadachar. Satmati, sanamati, good understanding. Sat vyavahar, righteous conduct. All good things have sat associated with it. Whatever brings you closer to your inner self is sat. It's a form of satsanga. When you are doing meditation or japa or prayer, good feelings arise within you. You are in satsanga. You have not gone anywhere. On the other hand, you are in a very sacred place, surrounded by beautiful things, but your mind is thinking of hatred, jealousy, some gossip that you have recently learned. You are practicing kusanga. So it's not enough just external understanding, but to have a deeper, profounder understanding. Following the normal, practical process, people who have studied and have become interested in spirituality are fascinated. But they have the question, where could they find a guru who can lead them? That question should not burden your mind. Try to have trust and faith, just like I said. How did you draw your parents to yourself, or you are drawn to them? Similarly, you go on perfecting yourself. Don't wait until the ideal comes before you, but start practicing what you are learning. And be inspired by seeing good things in others. Every human being is a blend of divine and little bit of demoniac. Like foods are there with little pickles. Come in contact with the divine in people. Otherwise, your mind will be very calculative. I am asked to have satsanga and avoid bad association. Is that person satsanga type or kutsanga? You will categorize. So many people belong to kusanga. You should associate with. That will be misunderstanding. That will be rather a contrary process. You are creating more bad association because always figuring out what is wrong with people. Point one finger to other, three fingers point to you. Therefore, the better method is always look for the bright aspect. What gleams? Look at so many mud puddles. But what's beautiful in mud puddle, it's sun is reflecting. So light is gleaming from it. This is allegorical. But no matter whoever you meet, all living beings have something gleaming in them, something very positive. Don't worry about what will happen with their negativity, that God takes care of. But you should be inspired by the positive in them. That's profound from higher level. But keeping up with the general form, coming to satsang, joining with people, listening together, doing prayer together, that has a powerful effect. Because you are then helped by many minds. Just like if you are in your home alone, or if you are with a family of good support and good warmth of love. There's a big difference. Practicing all spirituality by yourself without drawing inspiration from great teachings, great leaders, from sources that give you profound insight in scriptures. If you do so, if you don't have that, then you are lonely. What I'm leading you to understand, that when you have coming together, in modern times, there's great advancement of technology, and that's wonderful. It's the grace of God. Anyone can listen to profound teachings from anywhere. However, still there is a little difference. When you come into satsang, there is a vital communication. And that has a special effect. This is dramatized in the Navaratri Puja, the worship of the Divine Mother as Mahalakshmi. It's interesting, so I will tell you. Once upon a time, a great demon rose to immense power. Demon's name was Mahishasur, because he could assume many shapes and forms, but the most likable form that he chose was buffalo. He's buffalo-headed. All gods were threatened by him. To cut the story short, they came all before the congregation of great gods, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, and gods complained against Mahishasur that we are in deep distress, terrorized by Mahishasur. The Devi scripture dramatizes it. Gods listened to that, didn't say anything. But then suddenly Shiva's eyebrows twitched, frowned a little, and special energy proceeded from his face. Immediately everybody started frowning. Lord Vishnu, Brahma, effulgence emanated from them. Then all the gods themselves who had come for help, from each of them there arose an effulgence. All that effulgence gathered together and manifested as Devi, the divine Lakshmi with many arms. And then gods invested on the Devi various powers, various garments, ornaments. And the Devi, riding on the lion, brought about the destruction of Mahishasur. Mahishasur means distracted mind. People have all good things, but they tend to like being buffalo. That seems more convenient, more agreeable. When you discover that that's a great trouble, a great disease, to be always distracted, then you come together. Whenever in each satsanga you have gathered together before Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, and all souls are gods. Gods have come to the leader of gods all together. And when satsanga moves on, subtle radiations come from so many minds. An atmosphere builds up. You don't see the lion, you don't see the Devi like that, but that presence comes. It is that which uplifts people. In that atmosphere, scriptural teaching goes deep into the heart. And so, the process of destroying Mahishasur begins in a dramatic way. So, having described the general understanding of satsanga, that you should not ignore, that's one of the most powerful help. But in the absence of actually coming to satsanga, into a gathering, in the absence of that, all the sources that are available for you by the website, by magazine, by literature, by correspondence, all sources you can adopt. And finally, God, who is antaryami within you, He is the Guru. He will lead you. Interestingly, it is said that Guru is meant to push you. God is meant to pull you. You are in a dangerous predicament. You need to be pushed. Again and again his mind is going after strange things. Again and again a child is going after touching fire. So you need to pull. You need to push him. See? Family members push the child away. Mother pulls the child close. The role of Guru is to go on pushing you away from worldly values, directing your mind again and again to God within you. And while that goes on, God goes on pulling you a little bit. Until you attain liberation. That's all. Push and pull will be finished. Next sutra says, Labhyate api tat kripaiva. By God's grace, Mahat Sangha or Sat Sangha becomes possible. Because the previous sutra that I recited was discouraging. It's very difficult. It's unapproachable. However, it is infallible. But that should not become too impressed on your mind that is so difficult you can't get it. Rather it says, Labhyatepi. You do get it. By His grace. By God's grace. Because God's grace is constantly guiding every soul. The moment there is preparation in you, readiness, God will arrange. Within the twinkling of an eye, you will have better circumstances, better setup of things. Tulsi Ramayana says, Binu Hari Kripa, Milahi Nahi Santa. Without God's grace, you don't find a Santa. Santa is sage, enlightened being, the Guru. And also remember the saying, Satsangatve Nihasangatvam. When you begin to enjoy Satsanga, Satsanga began with this external form, coming together, listening, singing this glory of God, talking about God. That's the beginning. Now it enters in your inner life. So you create satsanga, even at home, dealing with children, dealing with different people, you bring out something positive. Sometimes you can bring out wonderful words, say things that are inspired. But sometimes not words, your example. When you find people are not listening to you, they're not going to listen to you. So, give a lecture in Mauna. Eloquence in silence. Show yourself being positive, relaxed, serene in all conditions, forgiving. Set up an ideal, and you are practicing satsanga. When you start putting your mind in a positive direction, countless people are there. They have directed their positive thoughts. They're all swirling in the subtle akasha. When you set up a positive movement, you are drawing them to your help. When you set up a negative mind, that also has countless. You are drawing negative impression. You can think of it from experimental point of view. One day decide to be sad. You say, I will be sad only to this much. But the moment you start, sadness becomes like a load. Because you are being helped by countless people. In the same way, in a positive way. Decide I will begin my day with prayer, with japa, and I will follow the positive. You realize you started in the beginning with a tremor. Now become like a lion. You flourish in it. That gives you a subtle understanding of how you can day by day bring changes in your personality. And that's all by your own little choice. So question of satsanga and kusanga has to be always understood by your mind. And you have all opportunity for both. I don't consider opportunity for kusanga. Tasmin tajjane bhed abhavat. Because there is absence of difference between God and his devotees. The glory of satsanga. The more you come closer to God, you become more God-like. If you have come to the climax, then there is no coming together. River has entered the ocean. The reflected sun has become the sun. The patch of blue has become the sky. Soul within you is nothing but God. Conditioned by the limited mind. It is to help human mind to understand that God is not to be viewed as someone who is awesome, ready to hurl his thunderbolt over people, create hurricanes and earthquakes and so many things. How will you approach him with that type of imagination in your mind about God? That's completely all Hindu literature. Vedic literature completely opposes that. Because God is the embodiment of infinite love. It's dramatized in Bhagavad Puran, the story of Krishna and Sudama. When Krishna was young, he had a classmate. His classes used to be in forest. Sudama was a classmate. Later, Sudama continued to be a poor man, a Brahmin, living in poverty and pressured by many wants. His wife one day urged him, you go on saying that you were friends with Krishna. And Krishna is the ruler of Dwaraka. Immense wealth, Why don't you go there and get a little help? Finally, when she said to him again and again, then he began to think, if I go there, what will I give to him? He's emperor of emperors. She cooked up some type of a puffed rice, gave him a little bundle, little thing. Sudama carried that until he reached the gates of Krishna. You must realize this is dramatized to such an extent it will take a long time, but I will summarize it. The gatekeeper goes to Krishna and says, there has come a Brahmin who says he was your class friend and his name is Sudama. Krishna was surrounded by people and queens. He immediately threw off his pitambara, his yellow dress. He let his crown drop in one way and he simply jumped out of. People were surprised that he could ignore all those people who have been there sitting day by day and go after someone. And he goes there, he enfolds the Sudama in his arms and brings him with great humility and great hospitality. And having brought him, places him on the throne. And himself ready to wash his feet, saying, oh friend, why did you forget me for such a long time? And hardly he had relaxed, he said, did your wife give me some present? He referred to his brother's wives. Did my bhabhi give you? He made him like a brother, and his brother, Sudama's wife is his brother's wife. So Sudama was hiding that, because that was in that palace with dazzling glory to have little puff rice. Krishna saw it, picked it up, opened it, and he took one mouthful and he took the other mouthful. When he started third mouthful, queens stopped his hand. So what about us? It's all the dramatization of how God treats his devotee. He will let go his infinity, his eternity, his immensity, and come to the aid of his devotee. And whatever offering the devotee is making, he will rejoice. Nothing like it. Dramatization. In that story, of course, Sudama, all his problems gone. When he returns after that, Krishna verbally doesn't give him anything because Sudama never asked for anything. But when Sudama returned, he couldn't recognize his place. His place had turned into something else. All palaces, all wondrous things, all empty places have become meadows and gardens, and all people were like princes and so forth. He didn't know. He thought that he has lost his mind or he has staggered into some other loka until his wife came forward and said, you see what Krishna did for you. It's a dramatization of how movement towards God is recompensated, rather it results in a transformation in your personality. Having touched by God's love, You come back to look for your old personality and you don't know where it is. Until your intellect comes and tells you, this is the workings of God. And with this we conclude. Om Shanti.
Thank you for joining us on this journey of spiritual growth. It's an honor to learn from the wisdom of Swami Jyotirmayananda. As we part for now, remember, the quest does not end. Take time to reflect on today's insights and integrate them into your life. Until next time, stay open, stay curious, stay present. The light within you is always shining.